40 points in the second half. What did they do to make it tough for you, for the offense, especially on the shooters and staying home on you guys?
We just weren't aggressive enough. We didn't get enough stops on the other end, so we couldn't get out. We didn't get out in transition. Um, they had a great second half. They made shots. We just didn't. We kind of played to their pace on the other end.
You guys have had so much success this season. How much do you want to take a game like this to learn from, or do you just kind of want to move on from it quick?
I mean, you'll always learn from everything. You learn from every game, every opportunity you get to step on the floor. We don't take it and say, "Oh man, it's not the end of the world," but we look at it and see what we can do better. That team's playing. They've been playing extremely well. I mean, for the last 2 months, they're a really good team, and they came to the challenge and they beat us on our floor tonight.
Kyle, obviously, you've been able to close out a lot of games, and you were on a good run before this. But where do you think you guys are in terms of late game offense? I mean, you've been through those clutch situations in the playoffs. How close are you to where you guys want to be in terms of executing?
I don't think we're nowhere near where we need to be, and we don't want to be there yet, honestly. I mean, we're only in February. We play for April, May, and June. That's our whole thing is we want to be our best team. April, May, June, you want to continue to get better. So we don't want to be at that high point of understanding what we're going to do and knowing exactly, where we want to be. It's going to be, ups and downs and some bumps, but we have a good late game package, but we're only going to get better, right? We're only going to continue to get, better in more, situations like this.
The league has gone to a lot more length. We've seen what Cleveland did with their 7 foot across the front line. I mean, from Toronto, they're lengthy, if not tall, front court. Certainly Dallas showed that today also, playing bigger players against Jimmy also. What does it require, and seeming in almost an evolving NBA when teams are going back to be bigger, as far as to get into your offense, to be able to play through that size?
Well, first things first, you got to get out in transition. Right, and that length doesn't can't do too much in transition. I think just putting guys in better situations and us figuring out the place to put the ball and the spots to put the ball and just figuring out the double floods and the baseline goes and the slides and all those things and what happens within the game. You just figure it out as you continue to get better and continue to see that.
As a matter of fact, I think Duncan was talking after the last game also about you need to get out and run more, but playoff basketball tends to be half court. It tends to be that way. So is there still a bunch of fine tuning that you need? I mean, all the fun in the first 3 quarters?
Yeah, definitely. Some fine tuning. Like I said, we're not where we want to be, right? It was just one of those games where we learn from it and, Spo and the coaching staff will look at the film and we can learn from this and take it on to the, later on into the season. But for right now, we've played fairly well last, couple of weeks, but it's one of those games where they just beat us tonight.
All right, Kyle. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just asking Kyle this also. The league has changed a little bit more, that teams are playing bigger now. We've seen that with Cleveland with their big front line. Dallas sort of used a bunch of length to smother you at the end. What adjustments does that require from you guys going against that kind of length and the way the league has sort of evolved back to big?
I feel like that was an offensive question. I don't think that was our problem tonight. I think we scored more than enough points. I just think we didn't guard the way that we wanted to, right, that we talked about. Our multiple efforts weren't there. Our rotations weren't there. Length and all. They're a good team, but I think if we played better on the defensive end, we could have pulled out a dub.
You guys did obviously concentrate a lot on Luka, and you did hold him down from an efficiency standpoint. He was only 5 of 19, but what was he able to pick apart on the offensive end against you guys?
I mean, he's constantly making you guard him with 2-3 bodies at all times everywhere on the floor, and he was actually looking to make the right play pass every time, and he got him through. We didn't turn him over nearly enough, but that's what good players do, great players do. That's Luka being Luka.
Jimmy, when you have so much success as you guys have had this season, how valuable can games be like this be for you guys just to learn or fine-tune the defensive things that you got to do better to get ready for the playoffs?
We know, we know. I feel like that was a tad bit of like a playoff style basketball game atmosphere. And it's fun. Those are games that you always want to play in, obviously. But like, we know what we're capable of. We know what we have to do. We know what we did not do tonight. We just can't make that a constant thing night in and night out. Go out there and play better on a defensive end. We'll make shots, not worried about that. But we got to pick up the effort on a defensive end. We do.
Jimmy, going back to Luka for a minute, you guys doubled him on the ball, switched some things, and single coverage a little bit here and there. Was that sort of an adjustment as the game went on based on how he was playing, or is that something you anticipated doing going into the game?
I think you just got to always keep him guessing. We got some really good defenders that are staying in front of him, and then it's kind of like, yo, surprise him, somebody, anybody. And we did that. And but he's a really, really, really good player. He can shoot over double teams, pass, split double teams. So he led them to a victory.
All right, Jimmy, that's it. Thank you.